It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we have another top 10 video to show you. But this is slightly different. This is dark beer, stout, porter, mild, dark ale. Here's a look at 10 of them. Now what I'll start off by saying is they're all from the supermarket, and within the UK we have different regions of what the supermarket will put on the shelves. So I'm here in Wales. You're picking up beers like Glamorgan Brewing Company's Welsh Cake Stout, Felinfoel Stout from Llanelli, Black Diamond from the Gower, and Brains Dark from Cardiff. Brains Dark might be available throughout the UK. If you're in Yorkshire, you're going to get Yorkshire breweries with similar stouts in your local Morrisons and Tesco's and Asda's. So it's a regional thing. So I've really just picked up what I can pick up in Wales. But I see this as kind of like the top 10 stouts, porters and dark miles in the UK. We've got some crackers here. I'm really interested to put some of these beers together because we have beers like Theakston's Old Peculier, which is 5.6% ABV. Is it a dark? Is it a mild? Is it a stout? Is it a porter? We'll find out. So the reason why it's called Old Peculier is because it can probably be any one of those styles of beer. The other interesting one is Fuller's London Porter, 5.4% ABV. That's going to be a real cracker. That's going to be probably the beer to beat, I think. I'll be surprised if that doesn't come out on top. And all of these beers, of course, you wouldn't be able to do this without putting Guinness in there. Guinness may not be in your top 10 of supermarket stouts or porters, but it has to be there because everybody sees it as the most recognisable stout in the UK, if not the world. This is Guinness Original Extra Stout. It's not the Nitro Surge Guinness that you find in cans. 4.2% ABV. So, without further ado, let's start opening up these beers and see what we get. Black Sheep Brewery Milk Stout. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. 4.4%, 500 milliliter bottle. Some of the glassware will be different in this review. We got some pint pots, we got some pint mugs. But stout is such a high aroma, high taste beer anyway that you're probably not gonna notice much of a difference. So the beer pouring out, Black Sheep, Yorkshire Brewery. One finger tan coloured head, jet black beer in the glass. Theakston Old Peculier. All of these beers, you can pick them up in the supermarket. Most of them are on a 4 for 3 deal in the supermarket. They're about £1.80 a bottle. Here is the Old Peculier. Now, in your eyes, in your mindset, where does this fall? Is it a stout? Is it a porter? Is it a dark mild? Look at the colour. Does it even deserve to be in this class? I had to add it because it's such an interesting beer. I'd go as far as saying dark mild. One finger white head, deep cherry red colour on this. Next beer, Brains Dark, 4.1% ABV, bottle cap. Ooh. Dark ale, probably a mild, dark mild I would say. They probably dropped the word mild many years ago, but I believe Brains Dark was a dark mild in its original form. One finger, ivory coloured head, nearly jet black in the glass. It's that kind of dark cherry red colour. Again, a little bit darker than the old Peculier. Guinness Original, 4.2% ABV. This is going to be a really interesting one. How does Guinness stack up against many other stouts and porters and milds in the UK? I'm using a Guinness glass for this one. There's no widget in the bottom of the glass. So this is the first one where I've not been able to pour it all out in one go. So we'll just... Oh, well, let's talk about the beer for a moment. Two finger, tan coloured head. Again, look, you can see the light bleeding through. It looks like a dark mild. It looks like the Theakston Old Peculier. It looks like Brains Dark. Guinness Original, extra stout, really should be jet black, shouldn't it? Should be jet black. Let's put it up against Black Sheep Brewery Stout. Look at the difference in colour. You can see the light bleeding through on the Guinness. The milk stout from Black Sheep's a lot darker. Right, all poured. Next beer, St Peter's Brewery. This is their famous Plum Porter in a medicine style bottle. This one doesn't want to create a head whatsoever. This is a bit hissy and fizzy. Maybe it's the plum in the beer. There's a look at it. Thin head. A little bit of light bleeding through. Otherwise, jet black in the glass. Now for the beer that I have personally put in as probably the favourite. Fuller's London Porter. This is the only beer that's not on a deal. The London Porter from Fuller's was picked up in Waitrose supermarket. You can also pick it up in Marks and Spencer. That's where we are with this beer, I suppose. It's targeting the higher end supermarkets. One finger, ivory coloured head. Little bit of light bleeding through. I would say so far the darkest looking beer is the milk stout from Black Sheep. Little bit of light bleeding through the bottom of that glass. You can probably see it as I rock the beer back and forth, but it looks, I've got to get a smell. This is taking a while, isn't it? I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Gower Brewery, Black Diamond, black bottle cap. If you've not visited the Gower Peninsula in Wales, please do so. It's a beautiful place. Black Diamond. Probably the poorest head. It didn't really want to create a head at all. It's a bit hissy and fizzy too. A little bit of light bleeding through on the bottom of the glass there too. This could shock me. Felinfoel Stout, Wales's oldest brewery. Felinfoel has got such a grip on the kind of West Wales beer market. I went down to West Wales on holiday a few years ago. Remember the old milk stamps where you collect stamps and you get something free? Well, if you filled out enough stamps in your book, in your Felinfoel book, you get a free pint of their double dragon ale. That's how popular it was down there. This looks good. Ivory coloured head. Jet black beer in the glass. Little bit of light bleeding through on the bottom of the glass there. Badger Brewery, Master Stoat, Coffee Stout. I say Badger Brewery, it's Hall and Woodhouse Brewery. Not Badger Brewery. Everybody calls them Badger Brewery. They're kind of badger ales, if anything. God, we've been 10 minutes pouring these. Introducing them and pouring them. Look at that. Look at that from Badger. One finger tan coloured head. That's a really good looking beer. Jet black beer. A little bit of light bleeding through the bottom of the glass. That's a stunner of a stout, isn't it? Look at that. Last but not least, Glamorgan Brewery, Welsh Cake Stout. Again, if you're in Scotland, you'll have Scottish stouts in the supermarket. If you're in Yorkshire, you'll have Yorkshire stouts. And if you're in London, you'll have London stouts in the supermarket. Depends where you are in the UK. Right, this looks okay. One finger tan coloured head. A little bit of light bleeding through the bottom of the glass there. Good carbonation. Yeah, it looks okay. Desperate to get in now though. Right, let's go milk stout. Let's just pick them up as we pour them. Black Sheep milk stout. Roasty, toasty aroma. Bit chocolatey. A little bit of that milk stout. Milk stout is coming through with a bit of lactose. Oh, that's good. Really roasty, toasty beer this. Loads of roasted malt coming through. Traditional stout with a really good creamy kind of rich mouthfeel on it. Lovely. Good mouthfeel, lovely carbonation, decent beer that. The bitterness is really pulling through. This is 4.4% ABV. The next beer is 5.6% ABV. It's the Theakston Old Peculier. A lot less of an aroma compared to the milk stout. Dark mild. You're picking up a lot more kind of like biscuity malts here. A little bit of bitterness. And interesting beer. A really interesting beer. A little bit of that kind of fruity, more hoppy flavour coming through. Little bit thinner than the milk stout from Black Sheep is the Theakston Old Peculier. Brains dark. Broads up on this stuff. Roasty, toasty, lovely in the bottle this. Not so good on cask, much better in the bottle. On cask is 3.4% ABV. Bottle is 4.1, much better at 4.1, much more body to the beer. Dark mild. Drinking very much like the Theakston Old Peculier this. A little bit thinner. Roasty and toasty. A little bit of bitterness with some of that kind of hoppy, kind of plummy dark fruit flavours coming through. Decent pint. Here's the interesting one. Guinness Original. How does Guinness stand up? Not much in the aroma. No real roasted malt coming through. It should be, it's an extra stout. Touch of biscuity malt, touch of roasted malt coming through. Here we go. It's drinking like it's with a little bit more bitterness. It's drinking like the Brains Dark. Both of these beers are 4.1. 4.2 on the Guinness. 4.1 on the Brains Dark, but it's very similar. I hear there's a shortage of this stuff. Christmas 2024. Just go to the supermarket and buy any of these. You will not be disappointed. This is not a great beer. It's been marketed to high heaven. It's a marketing machine these days more than a beer. Bitterness is a bit astringent. Not much going on. You really should go out and try other stouts. I really do think people should, rather than just watch a television advert and go, ooh, that's the one for me. It's a brand. It's like Nike. It's like Ford. It's just kind of like people know it, so they buy it. Pardon me. Carbonated as well. Carbonated as well, really carbonated. Not really a great beer. And I'm not doing this to pick on Guinness, I'm doing this just to highlight that there's other top 10 beers out there. There's top 10 stouts, porters and milds. I don't even think this is a stout. This is more of a dark mild. St. Peter's Plum Porter. I have a love-hate relationship with this brewery. They can produce some really good stuff, they can produce some really poor stuff at the same time. This is always in my Morrison's. Little chocolatey, little plum-like. Let's get in. %5 ABV. Oh. It's very plum-like, which it's a plum porter. You're buying it for that, aren't you? It's very thin. Very carbonated, very thin. Tastes a bit like the ultraviolet sweets you can buy. Them little purple ultraviolet sweets you can buy in a pack. It's got that sort of flavour to it. Not very good, that, personally. Way too thin. Way too ultraviolet for me. Fuller's London Porter. Cheers. Aroma. Oh, just roasty, toasty, beautiful. Nutty, bready, coffee, chocolate caramel. Very much like the Black Sheep Milk Stout. The Black Sheep Milk Stout surprised me. Oh, yeah. Fabulous. Fabulous. You're paying a little bit more money for this. You're probably buying it in Waitrose or Marks and Spencer's. You're probably talking no more than 50 pence a bottle you're buying. You're paying extra for it. But it's such good quality. Such good quality. It's definitely worth that extra 50 pence. That's delightful. Absolutely delightful London Porter. Pipe tobacco smoke, bitter dark chocolate, roastiness, chocolate coffee caramel, unbelievable creamy rich mouthfeel. Lovely, lovely, lovely beer. Lovely beer. Compare that to the St. Peter's Plum Porter. It's just a different animal. Filling up here, filling up on my brown bread. Gower Brewery, Black Diamond. Aroma. A bit of treacle. A little bit of chocolate malt, fair play. Ooh. There's something in there. Something in there that made me go, ooh. Crusty brown bread. Lots of malt in here. Quite nice actually, quite caramel-like. Caramelly. The husk of brown bread, you know, good quality brown bread and some chocolate malt in it, some roasted malt. It's not bad, it just threw me. I wasn't expecting it. A little bit of sweet caramel. I don't know, it's either actual biscuit malt or it's some kind of brewing syrup or something which just made me go ooh a little bit, like ooh, what's that? Felinfoel Stout. Out of all of the beers, have a look, out of all of the beers, that's the only beer that still has 1/4 of an inch, 3mm head. Look at that. Look at that for head retention from Wales's oldest brewery. Aroma. Ooh. Copper, tinny, metallic. Oh. Oh. See that bottle opener there? See that tin bottle opener? I might as well leave that in the bottom of the glass or the bottom of the bottle for 2 months. That is the most metallic, coppery, tinny, astringent beer. Wow, that's not good. That's not good. It's really not good. That's probably the worst beer so far. What a shame. What a shame. Oof. I don't know. Maybe it's the coppers. Maybe it's just their boil kettles. Maybe it's just the fact that this particular beer has been exposed to a lot of kind of metallic flavors. Metal boil kettles. I don't know. That's very, very strange. That I can't get past any other flavor apart from like a copper, like you've dropped that bottle opener in the glass for 20 minutes. Badger Master Stoat. What? Loads of coffee. Loads of coffee. It's like, it tastes like Baileys. It tastes like coffee Baileys. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's not as kind of like creamy and rich as I probably would have. Oh, it is. No, it is. It's just the coffee's really full on. It's like coffee liqueur. Coffee liqueur, yeah, it's like a Tia Maria or something like that. Really interesting. Last but not least, Glamorgan Brewery's Welsh Cake Stout. A little bit of sweetness there. That's okay. It's difficult going back from the tinniness of the Felinfoel, the metallicness of the Felinfoel, and then the coffee flavours from the Badger. Then I'm asked to go back to drinking a more of a traditional stout. It's very nice. But I need to clean up my palate a little bit. Right, here we go. Pretty decent stout, that. All of the roasty, toasty nature that you want from roasted malt. It's a bit biscuity and bready as well. It's a little bit thin, if I'm in all truth. If they could add some oats to this beer, it would be a cracker. It would be a right belter. But it's time to eliminate some beers now. Let's eliminate some, shall we? First one to go. Felinfoel Stout. For me, it's undrinkable. An undrinkable, astringent, metallic stout that is a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 for the Felinfoel Stout. Next up, St. Peter's Plum Porter. It's just not my bag, it's not my thing. Oh, that's why he's got that ultraviolet. Jammy damson and blackcurrant. And plum. It's just not my thing. It's just, if you like fruit beers, if you like fruity kind of like stouts and porters, who else brewed one that was famous for a long time? Titanic Brewery. Didn't they do some kind of like plum porter or something as well? Something Stouts, Titanic in Stoke-on-Trent. They did some kind of, it's okay, it's not too bad. There was another one as well. Ilkley Brewery brewed a fruit stout. Oh, it's with Melissa Cole. Can't remember the name of the beer now, my apologies. But it's just not my bag, this. It's too thin. It's too unstout-like. It would be okay if it had some body, and it would be okay if it had some roasted malt and chocolatey flavours, but that's a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for the Plum Porter from St. Peter's Brewery. Probably next on my list is the Badger. But I'm going to taste it again. It's almost, it's got a creamy, rich mouthfeel. It's coffee liqueur. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a bit too Tia Maria-like for me. A little bit too Tia Maria-like for my... I mean, there's probably hundreds of you watching this thinking, oh my goodness me, I love coffee, I love Tia Maria, this one's for me. Go and try it. You'll probably love it. You will probably love this beer. It's worthy of a 7. It's worthy of a 7 out of 10. Black Diamond. There was something here too, wasn't there? Yeah, there was that slight sweetness. It was like a... Couldn't work out if it was bready. It's a bit thin. It's a bit thin. It's a bit sweet. It's a bit too sweet. Maybe a little bit of brewing syrups used in this beer. That one goes to on a 7 out of 10. We're whittling them down now. Right, I'm going to pick up two beers. And I'm going to do this because they're very similar. Theakston Old Peculier and Guinness. Probably Brains Dark too, I could add to this list. Let's go Brains Dark first. We'll taste the two beers and then we'll eliminate one of them. Brains Dark. It's not bad. It's not bad in the bottle. Guinness. Yeah, it's Guinness. It's Guinness. It's just, yeah, it's too astringent. I'm looking at the other beers. I'm thinking, would I drink would I drink the Tia Maria kind of coffee stout from Badger over this? Probably. Would I drink the Black Diamond over it? Probably not. It's a bit too samey. Yeah, the Guinness goes. To be honest with you, in all honesty, the Guinness should have probably gone before the Badger. Master Stoat. Stringent bitterness. People buy it because of the name. People definitely drink this beer because of what it represents and St. Paddy's Day, and you know, they just marketed this thing. It is a thing. It's a marketing machine. This thing. It's just, they've forgotten about the beer. They've forgotten about why people love this beer in the first place, and all they now focus on is advertisements and St. Paddy's Day and just drumming up that kind of this story of Guinness running out for Christmas. It seems a bit far-fetched to me. It seems a bit like a marketing story. It's not great. It's not a great beer. No. 6 out of 10. Remember, this had a 7. Remember, this had a 7 too. The Master Stout from Badger and the Black Diamond from Gower Brewery. Brain stays in. Let's remind ourselves first of all of the milk stout from Black Sheep. Let's just make sure. Already made sure. That's a pure stout, that is. That's a tough call. That Black Sheep milk stout is bang on. Much better than Guinness. Much better than Guinness. I'm glad I have another bottle here. I'm going to open this Christmas Day. Right. It's Brains Brewery versus Theakston Old Peculier. Both probably dark milds. Probably both of these are dark milds, if we're honest with one another. All Peculier, Brains dark. Bearing in mind, Brains dark is like well over a percentage point ABV lower. Yeah, Brains is holding its own. Brains really is holding its own here. Brains dark in the bottle has this sort of kind of like only a few people know about it in South Wales, that it's a blindingly good beer in the bottle. I wouldn't drink it on cask, unfortunately. 3.4% ABV, different beer, completely different beer. But in the bottle, it's a bit of an animal. That's good. Whereas the Theakstons, it's a little bit sweet and it's a little bit astringent on the bitterness on the back end. Unfortunately, Theakston's All Peculier goes. Brains dark stays again. We did one of these a year or so ago, didn't we? And there was a beer that I was kind of like not pushing to be knocked out. There was a lager. It was Ting Tao. I remember it. Ting Tao. It was like the top 10 world lagers or something I did. And Ting Tao from China was like, it kept on knocking out beers that I wasn't expecting it to knock out. The same as Brains Dark. Brains Dark is knocking out some of these stouts, which I didn't expect it to do. Wow. We're down to the last 4 beers. I'm now going to do Welsh Cake Stout. Yeah, that's okay. It's got a good mouthfeel. This is like pure stout now. This is like, there's no messing about now. This is like roasted malt, good malts used in the beers. Probably not much in the way of brewing syrups. Probably not much in the way of like meddling. We're down to like the art of brewing now. We're down to like pure beer brewing. And pride, probably pride. I know one of the brewers. I'm not going to say who or whatnot, but I know one of the brewers behind me, and there's an element of pride that goes into brewing the particular beer. The beer's not in for that reason either. The beer's not stayed in for that reason. It's just a case of I was looking to knock it out and I couldn't knock it out. You probably guessed the brewer. You probably guessed the brewery. It's in a Barry Island IPA glass. This is okay. No. It's more than okay. The Welsh Cake Stout is really good. This is hard. Brains Dark. Black Sheep. The Black Sheep has just revealed a little bit of sweetness coming through. That It's only when we're talking about micro elements here now. We're talking about like slight variations. We're not even talking about like major things here. But it's got a lovely finish. It's that lovely roasted malt finish. I think it's Brains Dark this time. Got a bit of a cold, excuse me. Brains Dark, what an honour, but you're falling. If anybody from Brains are watching this video, please produce Brains Dark in a bottle at 4.1% ABV in cask form at 4.1% ABV, because it's blindingly good. I've just painstakingly proven that it's a blindingly good beer. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Let's try Fuller's London Porter. I'm very full up at this stage. I'm up to the gills. Yeah, that's just... it's magical. You know, there's some people out there that... I got the receipt actually for this. I was looking at it just now. I actually bought this in M&S. It cost me £2.75 a bottle. So it's probably a whole pound more. It's probably a whole pound more than the rest of the beers per bottle to buy. But you can taste it. You can taste it. This is like, I review a lot of M&S stuff recently. I review some Waitrose stuff every now and again. It's not really that I can afford to shop there. It's just I know for the channel like the crisps and some of the mac and cheeses. It was all right. But I've had some blindingly good foods in the past from M&S and Waitrose, and I've had some blindingly good beers. It's worth £1 more a bottle. I'm almost spoiling the kind of winner here. I think what we can say is Fuller's London Porter is the clear winner, but we need to find a joint second place here between Glamorgan Brewing Company's Welsh Cake Stout and Black Sheep Brewery's Milk Stout. Let's do it. Two ends of the country. Two ends of the country. Yorkshire, Glamorgan in Wales. Look at the two beers. They are almost exactly identical. They both have a film head. They're both nicely conditioned. They're both nicely carbonated. This is going to be so tough. Milk Stout, Black Sheep. There's a touch of sweetness in there that slightly concerns me, but it's the roasted malt on the back end that saves it. Whereas the Glamorgan Welsh Cake Stout is just a pure stout. It's just a really well brewed pure stout. It doesn't quite have that sweetness that the Milk Stout has from Black Sheep, but it still has that lovely roastedness, and they both got good mouthfeels. I'm going to drop the Black Sheep. I mean, I thought this was going to go up against... I thought that was going to go up against Fuller's as the winner, the London Porter. But the Welsh Cake Stout from Glamorgan Brewing Company, That is super good. Well, it's 4.8 compared to 4.4. That's, well, it's just a pure stout. It's just, this is really good. It's miles better than Guinness. Miles better. And it's probably a very similar price. Very similar price. My argument is here that this marketing story that Guinness have pulled here with, we can't brew enough beer. Maybe just go out and buy a beer from another brewery. Maybe let the marketing department at Guinness suffer from saying, I know what we'll do. We'll say we're struggling to produce enough beer. Just go out and try something else. People at breweries have been telling me this story for the last 14 years of me, 15 years now of me reviewing beer on YouTube. There's other stouts out there compared to Guinness. Guinness is just a marketing machine. Guinness, you can see Guinness dropped out. Guinness dropped out a long time ago. Anyway, the Welsh Cake Stout. Did I rate the Milk Stout from Black Sheep? The Milk Stout from Black Sheep's an 8. The Welsh Cake Stout from Glamorgan Brewing Company is a 9 out of 10. Which leaves me with the winner. Fuller's London Porter. .4% ABV. They call it the world's finest on the bottle. Brewed beside the Thames since 1845. It's £1 a bottle more. If you can't afford that £1 a bottle more, buy the Glamorgan Brewery Company Welsh Cake Stout. Buy that, or the Badger Master Stoat, or the Brains Dark, if you can't afford that £1 more. But if you can afford the £1 more, it's the difference between driving a Ford Fiesta and a Lamborghini. It might cost more, but you're going to have more fun. This beer from Fuller's is a blindingly good beer. It's fantastic. Great look, great aroma. Oh, roasty, toasty, biscuity and bready, nutty, roasted chocolate, roasted coffee. Great balance between the bitterness and the sweetness, the malt and the hops. It's brilliant. This is a 10 out of 10. Fuller's London Porter, 10 out of 10. Waitrose, Marks and Spencer. I hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.